Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, or wherever you're at watching us along the way. But if you're watching us live, good morning, and welcome into, I don't know, Tuesday at 2, during race week in Charlotte. Tuesday at 2 goes right out the window because we're all over the place. And this week, we wanted to hold back a little bit because we knew today we've got new diecast in. So we're doing Tuesday at 2, Wednesday at 9. And we're glad you joined us. All right, we got Nathan and Jason already chiming in. Good morning, guys. Good to have you here with us. I'm Steve Post from Motor Racing Network, and we are here talking diecast and talking NASCAR. If you have a question, fire it off there. Diecast questions, again, specific diecast. When is this in? I have no idea, and I'm not going to be able to answer that. But if you want to talk a little NASCAR, or if you want to talk anything else as far as the diecast world goes, that is great indeed. Todd, one of the diecastaholics, joins us, as well as Matthew, and joining us as well. And we're glad that everyone has joined us here this morning. All right, let's look back at the race weekend. We had Kyle Busch with a dominating performance in the Coca-Cola 600. He had that red, white, and blue M&M's colors on the car, and that car is available on Plan B sales right now as the race winner. So that race-winning diecast from Charlotte, the Coca-Cola 600, and sometimes that race tends to lead to dominance. And by gosh, we had it with Kyle Busch. What a strong performance. I guess if you're looking at it, well, at least Kevin Harvick didn't win. But now we've got Kyle Busch. We have got, folks, on Plan B sales, we have got a lot of Kevin Harvick race winners and a lot of Kyle Busch race winners. So if you're a fan of one of those drivers, you need to go on there now and get it ordered up, okay? Because the way this season has been, it's been fascinating, it's been interesting. If you're one of those people that loves to see everybody in the field win races, you're not happy with this year. If you're a Kyle Busch fan or a Kevin Harvick, you love the way this year you love the way this year is going, and it's fascinating to watch. I'll be honest with you, following NASCAR, I never saw this one coming. I know Kevin Harvick is a good team, and I know Kyle Busch has a good team. I'm not saying that I'm shocked that they're winning races, but I am shocked that this just seems to be a two-man race. Yeah, we've had Clint Boyer, and yeah, we've had Martin Truex, and yeah, Austin Dillon's won a race along the way, but I am telling you what, these two teams, that 18 team and that 4 team, they are demonstrating excellence, and if you're a fan of excellence, that's fun to watch. Sometimes it yields dominating performances like we saw at the Coca-Cola 600, compounded by the fact that Harvick crashed out. But the bottom line is that what a year they're having. And like I said, if you're a fan of race-winning diecast for Kevin Harvick and you're a fan of race-winning diecast for Kyle Busch, it is your time of the year. And it is great indeed. Derek writes in and says, I was hoping there'd be a Kenseth diecast and win sitting on the table. Did the Kenseth Phoenix win get made? Is that it's in the process, okay? And I think there's probably good news by what we do have here, okay? And speaking of what we do have here, and speaking of Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch, let's show you some race-winning diecast. This is the Kyle Busch race winner from the night race at Bristol. All the confetti on the race car, it was the M&M's caramel colors. And so that race winner from August is in, and looking really, really good. So if you're one of those that had it on order, well, we just received it today, and it will be shipped to you. And you can go on planbsales.com to see what our status is as far as that car goes. So the M&M's Caramel, the race winner from Bristol, is here as far as the race winners go. The reason I think that the Kenseth Phoenix car is probably close, because this next race winner is the Kevin Harvick AAA Texas winner. And Texas was right before Phoenix, not too far out there as far as that goes in the next to last round of the chase. So the Kevin Harvick race winner from Texas is here. I would tend to think that the race winner from Phoenix is probably somewhere between here and there along the way. And yeah, Matt Kenseth's car is being produced. So your question, the Kenseth race winning car should be here soon. Right now we've got the Harvick winner from Texas, which was late in the year as well. So, and now looking at that race car, the mobile car, look at that. He's got it all scuffed up there on the left-hand side of the car. You could see it there in our video, and he tore that thing up. And they've got it showcased there on the left rear side of that one. A lot of damage on that car from the celebratory burnout, if I'm not mistaken, on the Kevin Harvick car. So that baby's wore out on the right side. So indeed, so we've got those race winners, okay? Also want to mention one of the popular items that has been talked about out there is the sweep set for Kyle Busch for Bristol. The fact that the race winner has come in leads us to believe that the sweep set is really, really soon to arrive as well. So we expect that along the way. Again, here on the Diecast Review Show, we don't get to the details of this is coming in here because we just don't know along the way. But once cars start showing up, similar thing. Once the Texas winner shows up, we're kind of assuming that the Phoenix winner somewhere in the pipeline, pretty close. And once one of the Bristol race winning cars, we expect the others are probably here as well. We've got some 1/64 scale diecast as well. We've got the Kevin Harvick, the Busch NA car. We have got the Ryan Newman Bass Pro Shops car. Of course, these are this year's cars. And we've got the Click and Close car for Bubba Wallace. So we have got those cars. In fact, let me try something here. I don't know that we tried this. We're going to set those cars over here and just give you a little, well, they're not going to set. Okay, now they're not going to cooperate. That's what we get for not trying things. That's what we get for not trying things. There we go. So never mind. We didn't even, that's why this is live. That's why this is live. And next time we won't try it on the live show. We'll try it beforehand when we think about it. So there you go. Great NASCAR diecast. And yes, the theme, Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch, race winners are here. All right. We are in a really, really, really cool spot. Okay? Because we have got Indy Cars fresh off from the Indianapolis 500. Now, they're not race-winning diecasts. They're the straight-up cars, and they're 1/64 scale. But through this and that happening, we have them all in stock right now. Okay, so if you want them, come and get them. We've got Zach Veach's car, okay, the number 26 car. We've got Joseph Newgarden's number 1 car available in stock. We got Ed Jones, number 10 car available. Joseph Newgarden, we've got his car available. We've got the 2 cars of Simon Pagenaud, got the number 22 car there. And we've got the Verizon sponsored car of Simon Pagenaud. We got Marco Andretti's car available, the number 98 car. But look at this. We have got 4, and a lot of these cars are great runs in the Indianapolis 500. We've got 4 of the top 5 finishers in the Indianapolis 500 in stock today. And you know we've got the best shipping department on the planet. You get this thing ordered up, and the tires on those Indy cars are not even going to be cooled off, and you're going to have the diecast car, okay? Ryan Hunter-Reay, a 5th place run in the Indianapolis 500, and we have got that diecast car. Alexander Rossi, he finished 4th in the Indy 500. We've got that number 27 car in stock right now. 2nd place, Ed Carpenter. Yes, we have got Ed Carpenter's car ready to go in stock right now. And how about this? The Penske number 12, Will Power. This is not a race-winning diecast car, okay? Like we think about traditionally with NASCAR. This is the standard car. This is the car that won the Indy 500. Are you kidding me? And we have it now. I mean, this is something you just need to right now drop everything. Stop what you're doing. Go to planbsales.com. Type in and find these. What we run into is with the search engine. In our categories, there's Indy Car. Go there, okay? We're finding when we type Indy in, the next thing you know, you got 16 Brickyard cars and 1 car here and 1 car there. So go in by category, by the Indy Car category, and you'll see all these cars. Order them up today. You'll have them. I mean, this is crazy, and it's really just through. We ordered a bunch of these, and someone wasn't in a spot where they could get their hands on them. They went back to our inventory the week of the Indy 500. And here we are. We got them. We're ready to go. Send them out. Get them going. All the Indy cars, beautiful looking diecast cars from Greenlight. They do a great job with their diecast cars, by the way. Good looking stuff. And the Indianapolis 500 winner. We've got it. And man, you want to talk about showing it off. Holy cow, that's fantastic. So great timing on this. And we're excited to have these cars to offer. You know, we know that the NASCAR stuff is the 800-pound gorilla. But the reality of it is that IndyCar, drag racing, sprint cars, I mean, it's just, we got some really good stuff along the way. So looking at some of the questions here, I saw one from Lewis. Do you think we will see a Chevy outshine Kevin or Kyle? Whew, man, I love the Bowtie Brigade, but they better step it up. Kyle Larson, and I still think I think Kyle Larson is very fast. I chatted with Kyle in Kansas, And he's like, man, you guys writing us off. We're as fast as everyone else. We just can't put a whole race together. And he talked about Dover, how he was 3 laps down and raced back to the lead lap. And we talk about Auto Club, where he had to go to the back 2 or 3 times. So Kyle Larson right now has some speed, but the problem with NASCAR racing, or the challenge of NASCAR racing, is put 400 or 500 miles together and not have missteps, and not have miscues, and not have problems. And thus far, other than the Daytona 500 where Austin Dillon won, the Chevy, and the problem I have in the Chevy camp right now with your question is, Lewis, with your question is, there's not a lot of numbers that are up there running. Yeah, there's a little sign of life in the Hendrick camp. They're not as good as the 18 or the 4. There's Kyle Larson, and I read a story this week where Jamie McMurray says they really feel like they're finding the speed, and they feel like that within the next month they're going to be up there contesting. And I hope that's the case, but I just don't know right now. Based on what we've seen, no. I don't think anyone. I don't think there's any other Toyota or Ford that can compete with these 2 guys. I mean, that's the thing, let alone a Chevy. So we'll just have to see. Now, Todd writes in on this question, do you think the Mustang will suffer next year like the Camaro did this year? I'll tell you what, Todd, you're asking the question, I'm asking the question, but more importantly, I'm fairly confident guys like Brad Keselowski and Kevin Harvick are asking that question too. I'm serious. When you think about it, we got a car here, and the Penske boys are pretty good, okay? You're Kevin Harvick, and we're going to do a model change? Huh? What? And then Chevy did a model change. We came into this season, we said, oh, those poor old Fords, oh, those poor old worn-out Fusions. They'd be lucky they can sniff the top 10. Chevy's got a brand new car. Toyota's got the car that they had last year. Well, things changed. I think part of this is attributed to the change in the inspection process that kind of evened things up between the Toyota and the Ford. And inspection process, struggles at Hendrick, whatever the reason is, the Chevy has just not responded to this at all. So I'll guarantee you, Todd, that there's people in the Ford camp having the same question as you. What are we doing here? We got a car that can flog everybody on a regular basis, and we're going to change it. Now, there's a lot of good reason to bring that Mustang out. That Mustang's a good-looking car, and it's a great-looking car. So we'll have to see what happens. Now, Travis writes in and says, if NASCAR puts the Downforce package, that's an equalizer. Well, I disagree, Travis. We had the Downforce package one time. Who won the race? Kevin Harvick. Good teams are going to win the race, and that's that's a little pet peeve I have with. I think the Downforce package was fascinating. We're going to run it on the Xfinity cars this week at Pocono. Okay, here is the reality. This goes back to NASCAR 101. The good teams are going to be up front. The mediocre teams are going to be in the middle, and the teams that struggled are going to struggle. Okay? Right new rules. The good teams are going to be in the front. The good teams have all the money. Okay, the new low downforce package. We had Brad Keselowski. He wrecked in the All-Star race. Okay? He came on Motor Racing Network. He walked out of the care center. My buddy Woody Kane was back there, interviewed him at the care center. And he said, Woody said, Brad, what do you think of the new package? And Brad said, I think he was really interested tonight. He said, but if we went with it full time, give us 3 weeks and we'll screw it up. Okay? 3 weeks and we'll screw it up means that the teams that are good are going to still have the advantage over the teams in the middle and the teams in the back. Now, we may be closer, and that might be a benefit where a driver like a mid-pack driver could maybe roll the dice on some pit strategy or a two-tire stop or staying out or coming out and a caution falls and everything like that. If you're closer, you've got a better chance at maybe rolling that dice and taking a gamble and winning a race. Okay, so I'm all for that. I'm fine with that. But the bottom line of it is, Travis, just as you said, cream always rises. We had one race on the downforce pack, or the less downforce restrictor plate package, and Kevin Harvick won it. Okay? And if I'm not mistaken, Kyle Busch was up toward the front of that day, and Martin Truex Jr. ran pretty good as well. So it's just the nature of racing. It's a fascinating discussion, and it doesn't matter if you're funny car racing. John Force Racing is going to be good. Okay, if you're Indy Car Racing, Penske Racing is going to be good. If you're sprint car racing, Donnie Schatz and Tony Stewart Racing is going to be good. And if you're NASCAR racing, there's a couple of teams that are going to be good. And it's the nature of the beast. And yeah, if I'm a fan of one of the other guys, it's frustrating as all get out. I'm with you on that, but I think that's just the nature of racing. So consequently, we'll see what happens. Now, I do think the downforce package is a great discussion. I think we're going to refire that conversation. Well, we had a rather exciting All-Star race and a rather lackluster Coca-Cola 600 from a leader perspective and from up front as far as that goes. So the conversation is still ongoing. We're going to use that package in the Xfinity Series. Rules right now state that it takes some time to get this in the process, but we'll just have to see what happens along the way and see where we're at with it. But fascinating stuff, it really is. And I don't know what the answer is as far as that goes, because the good teams are still going to be the good teams, and that's the course of it. So it is good. Ryan, I agree with you. Chevy will only be winning if it's strategy aided. Based on the first 11 races, I think you're right. Okay, but this sport changes. Guys figure things out. These people who work at Ganassi Racing and work at Harvick Motorsports are smart. So yeah, I think if you base it on the first 11 races, strategy is the key. They've got to find the speed. Going back to our original question, they've got to find the speed. And that's where, to me, the question is where is that speed? And when do you have 3 or 4 or 5 cars up there running in the top 5 or top 7? Because you need a lot of bullets in the gun, too, especially if you're going to take out these 2 cats over here. You need some pretty stout bullets, and one guy with one bad pit stop can shoot himself in the foot, and you're out to lunch on it. So when we start seeing Chevys populate the top 10 and top 5 on a regular basis, I feel a little bit better about it. And so based on the first 11 races, yeah, strategy might be the best option. But I'll put some weight in what Jamie McMurray said. He's not one of those guys that gets out there and just blabs off at things. And he feels like that they've got some stuff in the pipeline at Ganassi that might be worthwhile. And watching Kyle Larson again. Kyle Larson's had good speed this year. His car has been as fast in many cases as these other 2 cars. He just needs to put a full race together. So fascinating stuff, man. I'll tell you what, God, I love talking NASCAR on a Wednesday morning, man. Great questions along the way. Matthew brings up summer heat is here. That's a great point too. What about this year? We have ran under the weirdest conditions ever. I mean, it's snow at Martinsville. We've had rain just about every place we go. So, Matthew, that's a great point. What's going to happen when the track gets slick and hot? Are these bullets up front? Are they going to be able to adapt? They're good teams. They're great drivers. So I think they will adapt. But does one of those Chevy teams that's maybe a little down on speed figure out a slippery racetrack? And I think that's a great point, Matthew. And it's something that we'll see play out as the summertime. Let's just hope that the summertime, my gosh, the way the rain has been this week, and I know some of you are out there, some of you are out there bailing water out of the basements for Pete's sake. I mean, is summer going to be here? That's a question for bigger scale than NASCAR. So it is good along the way. Travis says you're not going to hold the Hendrick cars back, and I think so. I think Hendrick Motorsports will get it sorted out. It's just taking them a little time along the way. Nick writes in, what do you think of the restrictor plate on the Triumph in NASCAR or in the Xfinity Series this weekend? I can't wait to see it. That race at Indy last year was fascinating with the Xfinity Series cars. And we're going to have it on Motor Racing Network, 12:30 on Saturday afternoon. So dial us up on your MRN affiliate. Shameless plug there, of course. But check it out and see. I think Pocono's very similar to Indy. Long straightaways. And I think it was Elliott Sadler talking, this package is really good for long straightaways because you can get a run and they'll be pulling out. I just am anxious to see what happens when they're 4 wide going into turn 1 at Pocono. I think then it becomes a hang-on moment. And hang-on moments are exciting. Hang-on moments make for some great racing. And my point with that is, Nick, is I think we're going to have a great race on Saturday up at Pocono with the Xfinity cars with that aero package on the race cars. And I'm fascinated to see how that plays out. And can't wait to get up there and do it. And really, can't wait to get to Pocono as well. It's my home track. Those of you who know I'm from Pennsylvania. Saw my first race at Pocono. I think it was 83 or 84. It was the Like Cola 500. Who remembers Like Cola? Oh, well, there's old school for you. Harry Gant won the race. I think Cale Yarborough was second. And Bobby Ellis, or Bill Elliott was third. And great fun. My first race was up there, and I love going back to Pocono. I love the Tricky Triangle. I love what we're doing with the Xfinity Series. And I love what's going on across the board. So with that, we're going to wrap it up. So to review, where we're at. Oh, one other thing. The high power, the guys that cash all the big checks here, we're going to take all these videos, okay, and we're now have a YouTube page. And I know I'm kind of preaching to folks that have Facebook here, but if you have a friend, someone's in the Diecast world that doesn't do Facebook, tell them to go on YouTube, and we can find these, because we're going to take these shows. They're not going to be YouTube live shows. but they're going to be YouTube shows. We're going to get them all on our YouTube page, and we'll put that on all of our social media and a link to that as well. But we are going to do a YouTube page as well. We know that a lot of people are not on Facebook, and particularly with a lot of the shenanigans that have been going on in social media, some of you may be a little bit leery about it and about the whole Facebook thing. It works great for us, but so if you have friends that are not on Facebook, be looking, and some of the shows are already going on our YouTube page now, and we'll get them so that once we get them done here, they'll get posted over there. So they'll be up promptly and directly and in pretty good shape. So we are going to do a YouTube page. So there you go. So we're coming to YouTube, which is ironically where we started years and years ago. So we're going back home to YouTube. We've got great Indy Car diecast. In the, what are we at, in the 20 minutes since we've been watching this? I know some of you have probably already ordered up some of these cars. We've got great IndyCar diecast, great 1/64 scale NASCAR, couple of race winners from Harvick and Kyle Busch, more race winners from Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch, including the Kyle Busch Coca-Cola 600 on planbsales.com. And we have just a lot to cover here and a lot of fun along the way. Hey, appreciate it. Love the NASCAR questions, okay? As I've said, one of the things that's frustrating, we get on here and it's when this car arriving, when this car's arriving. There's nothing more frustrating than stand here and not have an answer for this, not have an answer for that. I don't know if I have answers for the NASCAR questions, but it's more stuff that I don't have to go look on the computer at. I kind of just by covering the sport have it. So I love the NASCAR conversation we had here today and love hanging out with you. Remember, for all your diecast needs, go to www.planbsales.com and make sure you get everything you need ordered up here today, because some of this stuff is going to move out in a hurry. Thanks for joining us. I'm Steve Post from Motor Racing Network from Plan B Sales in Concord, North Carolina.